I'm Allie.
I'm Nicole.
And today we're going to talk about our 2019 goals and some fun new announcements.
Yes. Exciting. All right. So did we want to start with reading, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my first goal for the year is to read what I own.
No, good goal.
So if you saw our last video, we were talking about decluttering and then just how we were buying way too many books. So a big focus for me this year is to read books that I already own, and if I'm not reading books that I own, for them to come from the library.
Yes.
So that's my first one.
I mean, mine's pretty much the same as yours in that regard. I want to get through a lot of what I've gotten as far as books that came in book boxes or whatever stuff I picked up. I bought way more books last year than I even read last year. So I went through in our decluttering, kind of got rid of some of the ones I knew I wouldn't read, and now I just want to get through the rest of what I currently have, like at least that one.
Yeah. So my second one is to use a book list, like the Read Harder, the Book Right Read Harder Challenge or something like that, to help kind of expand the things I am reading.
Yeah.
To just be a little bit broader.
Yeah. Kind of the same. I don't think I'm going to follow like a specific list this year because I tried to do it last year and all I did was kind of like make my YA books that I read fit in some of the categories, and I totally didn't read the rest. But I do have a few books that I picked up that were different genres and a few classics, and I actually want to get around to reading them this year. So it's more of just like reading broadly this year.
Same, and I don't think I'm going to like completely do the whole list,
but just to get an idea.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why my dogs have decided to take a drink right now, but clearly
they're very thirsty.
They've been out and about where they could have gotten a drink for quite a while.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. All right, my next one is to go to the Translated Book Club at the bookstore here in town.
Oh, nice.
At least 3 times. So I went last year a few times and I really enjoyed it. However, I found that because translated books, like they just require a little bit more time to get into. Sometimes, not always, but often that's the case. It kind of would take up a lot of time that month, and I was trying to read a bunch of other stuff as well. So I went 3 months in a row, and it felt like those 3 months I barely read anything other than those books.
Yeah.
So this year I want to go a few times, but I want to like take some time in between each month. So and I want to go back.
I definitely go like when it's a book that sounds interesting to you, right?
Yeah, or a country that I think that I've never read
Right.
from, which is most of them.
Fair enough.
Like if they do England, I'll probably be like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. But anything else?
They did Scotland though, or Ireland, then maybe. Yeah.
Not so much on my part with the book club thing, but I kind of just fits more into the read broadly because I do have a few books that I bought last year that are translated, so I just want to get around to actually reading them.
Are you going to try to read a book in Polish again? Or?
Oh yeah, I guess I could do that. Okay, I'm just gonna bring over my last year's thing and try to do the first Harry Potter book in Polish because I really do need to get around to doing that.
You don't have to. I just wondered if you.
I totally forgot that I should do that. Or if I don't do that, then I will read. My dad bought me 2 giant translated fantasy novels that were written in Polish and translated into English. So I'll either read a book in Polish or I'll read one of my giant translated Polish books.
Nice. Cool.
We'll see how that goes.
That's what I have for reading.
Yeah.
Do you have any more?
No. I think that was pretty much it for me as well, because I guess my other thing would be kind of going and purchasing. I'm only going to buy a new book if it's from an author that, it's basically a book that I'm, excited to come out, or that I know I'm going to read right away, because there's been a bunch where, I love the authors, but I just buy them and they just piled up. So it's got to be more of, if it's a book that I know I'm going to enjoy right away, then I'll pick it up. If I'm going to buy it just to put it in a pile, then I'm not allowed to get it yet.
That's, same. And, there's one I've been wanting to go get that's, a short story collection.
Yeah.
So when it's something like that, I'm going to kind of, study it or something like that. As far as just, going to buy a new release just because, there's already been several that came out this year that I'm excited to read, but I just wasn't ready to read them yet.
Yeah.
So, so far so good.
One more reading goal that kind of goes into writing. I want to, but I also need to finish reading my writing books.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my last reading goals. I have a bunch and I want to finish reading them. Yeah.
I've been slowly reading a book about reading for writers. I forgot the name of it. I will put a link in the description about that. But it's a really good book, and it's really a good way to look at reading for writers. I wish I remember what it's called. I've been very slowly reading it, so I need to finish that one too.
Well, and then speaking of kind of reading for writers, I think we both also have a goal of reading more mindfully.
Yeah.
And not trying to power through books, because part of reading when you're a writer is kind of learning what the author that you're reading, like how they crafted their story, basically.
Yes.
And you can't sometimes absorb stuff if you're just trying to power through and read like a specific number of books.
Exactly.
Like I made a Goodreads goal for myself. I think I put 50, but I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'll just lower it if I have to. Okay, writing. Okay, so my writing goal for 2019 is, I think, the exact same as it was last year. I want to have 2 full drafts of the manuscript I'm working on. Currently working on the first draft, and then I want to get at least a second draft done. I would like to maybe get a third as well. I think that we'll see. Yeah. But I think once the second draft's done, like the third draft would be faster, because I feel like the second draft is like the big draft where we're actually like reshaping the story, and then that's the big cleanup.
Yeah, from then on it's a little bit easier because you're just tightening everything up and whatnot. But anyway, we'll see. But at least 2 full drafts. So help me God.
My goal is finish my first draft. Oh my God. # struggle novel. I can't. I have to do it this year. It's ridiculous. But
you're gonna do it this year.
But
I have faith.
Thank you. But I also want to give myself kind of allow myself to work on short stories if I want to, because I feel like sometimes that's happening as I'm getting kind of like short story ideas, and I want to work on that, but then I'm like, I should work on the other thing, and then I just decide that the best way to deal with that conundrum is to not do anything, which is not helping me out at all. So just write more, I guess, is the biggest goal, right?
And that's actually a good way to lead into my next goal, because it's to write short stories. I'll put these 2 goals together. So I want to write short stories, and then I want to take them to a writing critique group here in town. And I feel very like extra motivated to do this. Do you know that quote from Ira Glass about the gap?
I don't think so.
So it's basically talking about how when you get into something, you're disappointed in your work, because what got you into it is that you have really good taste in whatever it is. And your work starting out is so much lower than the level of your taste. Yeah. So there's like this gap, and it takes a while to catch up for your ability to match your expectations for yourself, basically. And the only way to get through that is to just keep producing things.
Which is hard.
Yeah, but he talks about how, like, at one point he even says, like, write a story every week. And I'm just like, he kind of has a point. Like, with short stories, you can just get so much more feedback in a faster way. So, yeah, I want to focus on that more than I have in the past, just to be able to, like, fine-tune my writing as I'm also working on a novel, which obviously I feel like in the long run that'll help the novel as well. And I've been trying to just work on the short stories at different times of day than I do my novel kind of thing. Yeah. So, and I don't want to do one every week. More like maybe one every month or one every 2 months kind of thing. So, and then I want to take them to the writing group where there's people I don't actually know. Right. Some critiques and feedback. And hopefully you and our friend Gretchen will go sometimes too. But
I definitely do want to go. But I also want to be able to, because we have our own little like writing group that we meet up with. And I feel bad because Gretchen has definitely shared the most out of the 3 of us, and I've shared the least. So I definitely want to be able to
You and I shared the same amount.
I feel like you shared more than I did.
No, that's in your head.
I definitely want to share more writing with people, like, in general. Yeah. So, because it is kind of a thing of where you're like, I don't know, but, like, can I do this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have questions about, like, your ability, and like obviously you'll get different feedback, like friends versus non-friends.
Writing groups. So 2 writing groups. That's it. That's all I got this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping it short and sweet. don't want to like overwhelm. Can always, expand on goals once we hit them.
Yeah. This is
starting off points.
This is starting off points, and it's still a lot.
Like,
getting through a draft of a novel is a lot. So I'm good with this.
Yeah. Don't want to overwhelm myself, so I'm sure it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So I know it's not a writing goal, but another big goal I have this year is to just be okay on days where I need a break.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting around being like, okay, I'm sitting here watching TV or whatever, but I should be writing, and feeling guilty about it.
Right.
So that's a big goal for me this year. That's not directly writing related, but it's just like a personal goal to like give myself a little bit more chill out and not stress myself out over nothing.
Right. Because you're allowed to take a break.
Yes. And just to find a balance between letting myself have a break and also motivating myself. I feel like that's where I have a hard time. I have a tendency to be like all or nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So now our big announcement.
Yeah. And kind of a goal too.
Yes.
Us.
Yeah.
So we both also wanted to kind of get into blogging more and stuff like that. We each had our own blog, and it was kind of like, well, if we're going to be kind of writing about the same stuff, why don't we just write it together?
Yep.
So we've got a blog up, and it's nickandally.com. Super easy to remember. Go check it out.
Yes.
And yeah, we're hoping that it'll be like kind of a good resource for people, because it's not only going to be us kind of going through our like writing process and our journey, as it were, but we are hoping to like just kind of share different tips and tricks and just fun things.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely going to be, when we say tips and tricks, at least right now, it's going to be like, this is what's helping me right now, not here's how you do this, because we don't feel like we're at that level yet, but we do we find things that we really like that we think are helpful for writing, or things we like that are reading related that we want to share. So it's going to be more of what's here, just and a little bit more in depth sometimes, and maybe just if you prefer reading instead of watching videos, kind of thing. So it'll all be tied together. Our YouTube videos will be linked there as well, and then we might have some other stuff coming up in the future too that'll be there. So just basically everything that we're working on will just be in one place.
It's basically everything that's kind of helping us and that we like. We just want to share it.
Yeah.
And and then said, more in depth, and we'll try to write more about like kind of like our even just like emotions that go into like when you're trying to write and how you feel and stuff like that. Because I know I definitely sometimes struggle like from a mental perspective, and it's definitely easier to write it out and talk about it.
True.
Sometimes. So. And actually, our first post, besides our welcome post, is going to be Allie's review of the Slow Novel Lab.
Yeah. I think I talked about it briefly. No.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Give a little snippet, and then you can go to the blog and read it.
Basically, Nina LaCour launched a writing class, and I'm a huge fan of hers, and I love her work. I find it to be very inspiring, so I was thrilled. And I took her class. It did not disappoint, but for more details, see our blog.
There you go. And I think that's it for now.
Yeah.
So go check it out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.